4 innovative businesses you can learn from. Not every new business idea needs to be truly original. You can actually create a very successful business using only tried and tested formulas, and not even venture out that much into the unknown. In fact, this is sometimes the safer bet when it comes to creating a new business model. The problem is that it takes a truly innovative business idea if you really want to take the world by storm. If you're just happy to make a little money, then sure, something basic and already proven will work fine. But if you're looking to become a billionaire who forever changes the status quo, then you will need to come up with something completely new. Let me share 4 examples of companies that have done that in exciting ways. 1. Facebook. Facebook completely changed the way that we interact with one another, the way we stay in touch with friends, and the way that we make new acquaintances. The idea of a social network is not new, of course, but it was the countless smaller ideas that Zuckerberg and the team implemented that really changed things up and ensured that the site was a massive sensation. 2. Uber. Uber is an example of a company that makes use of the sharing economy. This is a taxi service that is run by its users. Rather than pay obscene amounts for a taxi, why not hire someone local who is happy to give you a lift for much less? It's no exaggeration to say that this is making massive waves in multiple industries. 3. Airbnb. Airbnb is another example of a company that makes use of the sharing economy, this time by letting people share their spare rooms and outbuildings as alternatives to hotel rooms. Once again, this is changing industries, the hotel industry, and even the property market. 4. Nintendo. The House of Mario is a company that is constantly innovating, whether it's with motion controls or new gameplay mechanics. The latest innovation, of course, is the Nintendo Switch, which combines the company's portable and home consoles into a single machine. The appeal is the option to take AAA titles on the go with you, but then be able to play them on the big screen when you get home. It's early days yet, but so far the signs are very positive, and the company has sold more units than any other console at this stage in its life. In other words, you don't have to be a young, hip startup to innovate. How to create your own software-as-service business. The notion of software as a service is a very interesting one, and one that is very different from pretty much any business model that has gone before it. The idea is that you are providing a service, whether that's web design or contact management, and that this service is going to be provided automatically by using a piece of software. So instead of building websites for your clients, you are offering a piece of software that can do that for them. The great thing about these businesses is that they can provide services that would be impossible to offer any other way, and they can allow you to take a very backseat approach to running them, generating passive or near-passive income. So how exactly do you create such a business? 1. Come up with the idea. The first thing you need to do is come up with your business. This is easier said than done, of course, but one useful question to ask is whether you can in any way productize a service that you are already providing. This is how Matt Mullenweg came up with the idea for WordPress, by asking how his web design company could be made into a product, and thereby scale to unforeseen heights. Another question is to think about the tools you use on a daily basis, and how they could be better as an SAS. 2. Implement the idea. The next step is to implement the idea. The problem with this is that it will very often involve programming using a web-based programming language. This is code that will run on a server, and common languages include PHP and Python. These are very complex for beginners, which is why the best option is often to outsource the actual creation of the product to someone who knows what they're doing. Use Upwork or something similar to find the staff. Alternatively, you can try using a social network building solution, several of which do exist. 3. Market the idea. Finally, you just need to market your idea. A good place to start is with your existing client list, if you have one, and from there, you can try building an email list as you would for any service. Often, SAS means B2B, but not always. Otherwise, you can try using advertising and more traditional means of internet marketing. Invest the profits you make into more advertising to scale up your business, and then watch as it grows. How to market your new disruptive idea. Got a new idea for a product or service that is going to be truly disruptive and change the way we see the world? Great. Only you're not the first, and you probably won't be the last either. The thing is, ideas are a dime a dozen, and actually the hard part is marketing those ideas and getting them to sell. That's where the marketing part comes in, and that's the difficult part. Unfortunately, it's even harder in many cases when your idea is exciting and new. Why? Because there is less point of reference and less context that you can use to explain your idea. So how do you get the word out about your new concept? Let's look at some options. In the beginning, the main aim of your marketing is often going to be explaining what your product is. This is your elevator pitch, and it's important that you've come up with a simple way to explain succinctly and clearly what your idea is, who needs it, and what they need it for. Another useful concept is to focus on the value proposition. In other words, where does the value come from with your new service or product? How does using this product make life better? Will your users be richer? Will they have more fun? Or will it improve their health? While the how and the what might be new, very often the why will be universal, and this will be key in communicating your message. In order to do any of this, though, you're going to need to think about whom your product is marketed to, and who will want to use it. This will tell you where to present your message, and how to present it. Have a think about the typical demographic that is likely to use your product, and think of comparable products and whom they are targeted at. Looking at comparable products is also a good way to get inspiration for your marketing. Finally, don't be afraid to embrace the newness of your product or service. In other words, if your product is so different that it stands out, then this can actually help it spread by word of mouth. Consider those 5-finger shoes by Vibram. These drew the eye so much that they practically marketed themselves. How can you get people talking about your brand?